Okay, so well, I guess you already have a Mobincube account. So because well, we sent the invitation to our Mobincube users, so I'm not going to explain how to create an account. I guess you all have an account. So and you already know this section of Mobincube you are watching right now. It's my apps, the screen. Okay, here I have the list of my apps, and I have this icon for creating a new app. So I'm just going to create a new app as I was used to do it. Sorry. And okay, you see this dialog here. I guess if you access Mobincube like in the last month, you already are familiar with this dialog. But if you check in the left part of the dialog, you see something new. It says Wizards, where before you could see templates. Okay, so now it's different. So all you have to do is enter the name of your new app, demo 3, for example, and you just click on create wizard. Okay, so now everything is going to be new for you. Okay, well, unless you connected this one. So now I'm getting a new list of wizards. Of templates. They are all new and really new designs and everything. So as I told you before, we have now 25, I think, or more or less. Okay, so and we will be publishing new templates every week. During this weekend and the next week, we are planning on publishing like 10 to 15 new templates, and we will try to publish like 2 new templates every week. Okay, so yeah, here you have some examples. You can select categories. Well, since we only have like 25 now, most of the categories will be empty. So you can just select all categories, and then you will get all the templates here. So it seems to be similar like the old thing, but you see differences right now. Okay, so imagine that, for example, you want to create an app for a restaurant. It can be your own restaurant, or imagine that you are developing apps for your customers. You are making a business to develop apps for your customers, and imagine that your customers are restaurants. Okay, so you can see here a template for a restaurant. You can, if you press on view, you will get a preview of this template. So you can get a picture in your head on how your app will look like. The app structure and the app design and things like that. So you can, well, this here on the left, it's an HTML simulation. It's not the real app. It's only a HTML simulation. So not everything will look the same in your app. In your app, it will look like better, but you can interact with this emulator. Okay, so see that you have some sections here. Okay, well, you can see the structure of this app. Okay, so in case you preview your team template and you consider that this template fits your needs, you just go here to create, and the wizard will start. Okay, now it's going to be a step-by-step wizard. So you'll see that you can create your own app in 5 minutes. Okay, well, first thing is deciding the icon for your app. Okay, here you have some recommendations using a 512 pixels height and width. Okay, it should be a PNG as always. That you already know if you have worked with Mobincube before. So, well, in case you want to use our default icon, you can just leave it like it's right now. Okay, but I guess if you are creating an app, you want to use your own icon. So you just press here and select. And now you can just upload an icon. I think I have one here. Or it was here, I think. For example, I'm going to upload this one. So every time you upload a picture in the wizard, you see this screen. Well, you can, for example, for an icon, select if you want to round your corners. Or you can like zoom in and zoom out. Or in case you zoom in, you can like move. And this square here is the final cut of your picture. Okay, so I'm just going to use this, for example, and then click on accept. So now I have an icon for my app. Okay, So you don't have to really to be really worried about the size of the picture, since you can just zoom in and zoom out here. It's going to be quite easy. Okay, so when you're done with the icon, you just click here on the right, in the arrow pointing to the right, and you see that the top bar here indicates that I'm in a new section. Okay, so you have some description here of how this section is intended to be. Okay, for example, here I see, on the left side, I always see a preview of this current section. Okay, so here I get a message that, well, I can use the default background picture, or in case I have my own picture of my restaurant, I can use it here. For example, I just click on select, and I only need to, for example, to click on a picture. Well, I have some pictures in my PC. Well, I didn't want to spend all the time creating pictures. Okay. So now I have this picture. I can like zoom in, zoom out as before, and I click on accept, and I change the background of my picture. Okay. Now I get another message that says that I can change the logo of my intro screen. Okay, so then I have this default icon. I can use my own. I'm going to use this one. Okay, it has like a semi-transparent white color in the background. Okay, and now this is how my introduction screen will look like. Cool, right? Okay, so, well, in case you need some help creating icons and stuff like that, you can always use this tool called pixlr.com/editor. This is like a Photoshop, but it's online. It's it's a flash software, so it's online. You don't have to install anything. Well, it's not as powerful as Photoshop, but it's free and you can use it. And for just creating pictures for Mobincube, it's quite good. Okay, so I'm done with this screen. I just press here and I go to the next section of my app. Okay, so this is the main menu of my app. I get some information. I get some text here telling me that I can change the logo in the top bar of the screen. I just click on select, and I have this picture created. So I just move, zoom in, zoom out as always. Okay, so I change the header image in my app. Okay, now, well, you saw that there were like pink arrows indicating that there were more content below. So I can scroll down and I see other things. For example, here I get this text telling me that I can change. By default, I have some labels for the buttons in this menu, but I can change anything here. For example, I could say like our starters. And as I change things here, I see the preview on the left that is getting changed. Okay, so I just click on save. And then I can change here, for example, for burgers. Desserts is okay, drinks is okay, and maybe I want to use some promotions, for example. Okay, so I'm done with this screen. Okay, I already created my menu. So I click to the next screen. So I get special offers here. So, well, some templates use databases, but you can like fill in data in the databases in a really easy way. I mean, all fields are already created, so you can just modify some information. For example, for special offers, I have 4 items created, so I can just modify information. For example, my first promotions, it could be like buy one, get one, and I can just add a description for this offer. If you buy one burger, you get another one for free, and the price could be like $8.99. And I could upload a picture of my burger, for example, and let's get this one. I can move. Okay, and Well, in case of databases, you won't see a preview of the picture here in the emulator, okay? It's only this broken icon. It will work in the app, okay? That's only like a technical issue. So I can just click on save, and I can keep editing more items. So in case I only need like 2 special offers, I can just open one of them and click on delete. So I can delete this special offer. Okay, and in case I only want to use, for example, 6, I can just click here on add record. I think there's a misspelling here. Okay, no problem. So, okay, I'm done with the special offers database. So I just click on the right icon and I go to the reservations. Okay. So here I can get some instructions of how to fill this section, for example. So, for example, here, this text can be used for giving some instructions to your potential customers so that they can make reservations. Okay, so I can change this text in case I want to, because I mean, I'm not it's not mandatory to change it. We provide a default text, and if that text is okay for you, then you can just leave it this way. Okay, and for example, here I see that this is the telephone number that will be shown on the screen. Okay, but I can just enter here, call us, and then I need to enter the real phone number here. Okay, so I can use my phone number. I mean, not my phone number, but my restaurant's phone number, and I can just click on change phone. Okay, so when I'm done, I just click on right, and now the map section. I mean, there's a section in my app that will show my restaurant on a map. So all I need to do is like entering my address here, for example, Fourth Street, San Francisco. Okay, so that's it. And well, I can just change some text here if I want. And so every time people taps on my location, a white dialog will be open. So it will display the intro logo I used in the first screen, but I can change it here, and I can change the text that will be shown in that dialog. Okay, but well, I have to click on save place. Well, in case I have like 2 restaurants, I can add a new place here, but it's not the case right now. So I click on next, and I see the about us section. Okay, so this section by default has 1 picture, has 1 title, and has 1 text. Okay, so I can just change the picture and use my own picture, for example. Okay, I want to use this one. Let's paste it. Okay. So this is how my app will look like. So I can change the text. For example, know more about our picture. And you see here on the left, it's always updated in real time. And here I can enter information about my restaurant, our history, our specialties, our experience, how good our restaurant is, how famous. I mean, any information you want to provide your potential customers, you can just write it down here. Okay, so I'm done with this screen. I just click on next. So now I'm going to the search section. Again, it's a database. Yeah, I can just enter the name, for example, banana split, give some information, maybe the ingredients or things like that, the price, and I can upload a picture. Okay. I'm not sure if I did something wrong with the picture of this burger shouldn't be here. Anyway. Well, the thing is that you'll see after I finish this wizard, you'll see that you can, it's not only like a static template that you cannot change anything. I mean, you will be able to customize everything after the wizard is finished. You'll see. So now I'm in the starters section. I can just enter more information about my starters in my restaurant. So I just click on next. And now the same thing for drinks. I can upload my drinks. It's always the same way. Now I click on next. I should enter here my main courses. Okay, it's always the same, like adding records, deleting items. I mean, it's always the same for the databases. And well, after I enter all that information, I can have all the items that I enter in the database. I mean, main courses, t-shirts, links, everything. I have it, all of them here. Well, for each section, I have like 4 items by default. In case I don't want to use 4 items, I can delete, or I can just update all the items, okay? So, okay. Yeah, and I'm done. If I click on next, I reach the end of this wizard and I get this green button. It says, congratulations, you almost created your app. Okay, so if I click here, I mean, I can go back to any section. I mean, I have this top bar here. I can, for example, if I forgot to change something in the About Us section, I can just click here and I will go back. And when I'm done, I can click on next, or I can use the top bar again. So I go here to generate app, then I click on here on generate app. So now with all the information that I enter in this wizard, with all this information, I mean, we are like processing all the information and we are like creating the app in Mobincube. Okay, so now it's done. Now my app is in my Mobincube user account. And here I have 2 options. I have this preview option. I mean, if the template was good for me and I don't really need to add more content or add more sections, or I don't really need to change colors or change anything, I can use just the preview button and I will go to the screen that you already are used to. So now I'm going to be able to test my new app in my Android device or my iOS device. Well, in case of iOS, you have to install this app in your iPhone called Mobincube, and from here you can enter your user information and then get a list of your apps. You can just select the app that we just created, and you select it, and a demo will be processed, and you'll see your app in your iPhone device. Okay. So for iPhone, and that's it. And for Android, I just click here on request. And now my preview is being generated. Okay, so I'm going to generate it and I will show the result in my phone. Okay, I will activate my webcam. Okay. So in the meantime, I mean, this generation takes like 3 minutes maybe. So in the meantime, I'm going to go to the edit interface of Mobincube and we're going to check what happened with our app. Okay. So here we are in the edition interface of Mobincube, and you see that we have all the data we got from our wizard. Well, it takes a bit extra time because I'm hosting this webinar from home and my connection is not really good. And we also had some problems with our server last night. Okay. So here's my first screen, my introduction. Remember, we changed the background image. We also changed my icon. So here I have the structure of your app with all the sections we just created. Introduction, the About Us, for example. Okay, you see all the sections. You have the bottom bar, you have the top bar. So in case you want to modify anything, feel free to do it. I mean, this is Mobincube. I mean, we are the most flexible app builder in the market, so you can change anything. I mean, we can just take a template only for starting your app, and then you can modify everything. In case you need to change colors, you can, or change the size of a picture, you can just change, for example, to this top bar. And you, for example, you can like make this picture a bit bigger, or you can like change the color of the bar. I mean, you already know this, right? an example. So you can just add more sections, remove sections if you really didn't need some sections of the wizard. I mean, you can do anything from this edition interface, okay? Or even if you want to check, or example, if you want to check your database, maybe you want to come here and edit your database. You can add more fields. I mean, you can add more data. You can change pictures, okay? I mean, you can do anything you want. Okay, so now I'm going to, okay, the preview is done. I'm going to share my webcam. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to share my webcam. So let me just download the demo we just created. One moment, I need to scan the QR code. Okay, so now I guess you see my phone. It's going to download. My device will download it. It's here. Okay, open. And this is my app. Okay, this is the background. Well, this app has ads, this version. So this is my menu. I changed some labels here. So I select some burgers. I have the first one. So you can read it, everything. I have, for example, I can like access different parts. I have this about section. I have the location. And I have this voice dialog. Here, my web dialog with the text I enter in the wizard, and I have all the contact information. So if I press here on call us, my phone makes a phone call to the number I entered. So everything's here. So yeah, basically this is it. I mean, you saw that I just created a nice app in just like 5 minutes. Well, maybe more because I was trying to explain everything. But if you have your pictures, you have your text, you have everything ready, you can really like create an app really fast. Okay? So let me share my screen again. Okay, so let me go back to the wizard selection. Well, I guess you found it easy, right? So as I was telling you, let me start a new app. For example, as I was telling you, now we have, I think we have like 25 maybe or 24 templates. Okay, so well, we have some of them. For example, if you see these 4, 8, well, we have 10, 11. I think I should have another one. Well, we have 11 templates here that are only like generic templates. I mean, for example, this basic app in blue or basic app in green. Okay, there are just some templates for general apps that anyone can create an app. For example, for showing contact details, showing a picture gallery, a map, things like that. But we have different templates in different colors. So in case you don't really need to think about combining colors and things like that, you can just use some of them. Then you have these basic catalogs for showing some product catalogs in different colors. So maybe your company colors fit some of these, and it's easy for you. Okay, and then we have some themes. I mean, some specific templates. for different industries, for restaurants, for bloggers, for city guides, for coffee shops, okay, for freelancers, for hair studios, okay, for hotels, things like that, okay. But it doesn't really mean, for example, if you get this template for a relaxing studio or for a spa, then it doesn't really mean that you need to use this template only if you run a spa and you want to create an app for a spa. I mean, for every template, you can just check the structure, the design, the elements distribution, and if you feel that this app structure might fit your needs, in case you change some pictures, you can use a different template for a different purpose. Okay, and we can have an example. And also, I wanted to tell you that as users, maybe in case you are like developing apps for third parties, or in case you want to resell Mobincube through our reseller programs, then we can add some templates only for you or for your customers. Okay, so just get in contact with us and we can arrange that. In the future, we will let all users create templates and maybe share templates with other users. Okay, so I'm going to also do another example. Okay, so that we can check that I can use this spa template for making, for example, again, our restaurant application. Okay, so I just click here and create. I'm going to select my icon. I have this icon here again, the same one. So I click on next, and this wizard is different to the previous one. I mean, the sections on the top bar will be different. I think this one is not using as many databases as the previous one. So here I can just use a different header and it changes. I can also use a different background as before. And I can change again my intro logo. So this is how it will look like. Okay, so now it doesn't look like a spa, right? Now it's more like a modern restaurant maybe. So I click on next. Whenever you see this yellow and this pink arrows pointing to the bottom, it means that there are some other elements below that I can edit. So here I have this menu. I have different pictures that I can change, and then I can just upload my own pictures. And I have some labels for the buttons. Okay, so for example, about our bistro, I can change the text here, or I can change the picture I want to show in this button. This, for example, I can go here and select again this burger. Okay, and instead of a shower here, and maybe I want to use this section for showing my restaurant, so I can just upload a picture of my restaurant maybe. I think I have some here, yeah, this one. And for example, just zoom in and show this part. And instead of showing this text called facilities, I'm going to change to our example. And then I have these other ones as treatments for the spa. So, well, I didn't show you that. You can see the preview, and this is for showing some a small database of treatments in the spa. So I want to use this for my food menu. Okay, so I'm going to again use this another picture. Okay, and instead of showing treatments, I'm going to change the label and is our menu. Click on save. And okay, the rest is okay. I'm going to keep using this telephone and this sales icon here. So I just click on next and I go to the next screen regarding the about us. Okay, you see this picture, it's because this picture is the same I used in the previous menu. Okay, so we want to make it easier for you. So if you already selected a picture for this section, it will be shown here. In case you need to use a different picture, just go to edition mode in Mobincube after this wizard, and you can change the picture. Okay, you can change the text, the title text here, and our history, for example. And here you can like add text for your potential customers. Okay, you can say blah 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 blah, and you can change the text. Okay, so we just click next, and here we can talk about our restaurant, and again I can change, and I can give information about our restaurant, how many people can fit in our restaurant, how many tables we have, or I mean, Wi-Fi information. I mean, anything you want to tell your potential customers can be here. Okay, so I just click on next. So this is the gallery. I mean, I can use some pictures for showing my restaurant here. So, well, the thing is that these pictures will be also taken for the treatment section. So I'm not going to edit these pictures here. And you see, well, no, let me edit them. For example, for this first one, I'm going to use this dish here. Also looks tasty. I have to click on save report. And the second picture, I'm going to use, I think I had some nice cool pictures here. And that's it. I could add more pictures to my gallery. Just click here and add. I think this is wrong, right? I mean, it's not registered, it's a report. So you can just confirm. It will take my people. So now in the treatment section, I remember that I wanted to use this section as my food menu. So menu, I can change the title of this section. I can give here some information, maybe regarding a chef in a restaurant. And then I cannot see it here, but I have another text, which is the label of one button on the below the text. If I can change this, if I enter a shorter text, you see that there's other text here that says view services. So I can change it to view menu. Okay, so I click on next. And here our treatments now is our menu. Okay, so I have this database. Now I have two items. Well, if you take a look, it's the same items that we did before, you know, the picture with the frames. And then I have this other register, the picture with the spring rolls. So it's because the gallery takes automatically all the pictures in the database. Okay, so if I enter, for example, this seafood deli, for example, can be called, and I can enter some ingredients, for example, or some description, or I can change the picture again. I can set a price for this. Click here and save register, save records, and I can enter, for example, the spring roll, and I can enter a different description, a price, or it's like expensive 49 for a spring roll, right? Well, it's a fancy restaurant where I have, so I can add more, and you see that if I enter like a super burger, and I enter this one is best even that the one in super duper. Maybe that's not that right. And I can enter, for example, this one. Oh, it's small, this one. Not sure why. Okay, and I can see the price. 9.99 or something. And I click on save. I could keep adding more records for my menu, okay? And you see then in my app that the gallery will take the pictures automatically. So I just click on next, and I can even add new promotions. It's a different database or maybe the same. I can add more information here. It's always the same, like editing databases in the Wizards platform. So I'm not going to do this right now. I'm just going to click on next. And now this is the contact us section. From here, this template is ready to access some other sections. I mean, I can access my Facebook channel, or in case I don't have a Facebook channel, I can use my Twitter or my website. I can just change the Facebook icon here and use a different one. Or, well, I can change the titles of each button, or I can, for example, the last button is like a call to action in order to make a phone call. I can change the title, or I can change the phone number I want users to call. Okay. So, well, I'm done with this section. I just click on next. So now here in this social section, okay, I only need to enter my, for example, in case I want to show my Facebook channel, I just enter here my Facebook URL, and click on change URL, and that's it. Okay, so I click on next. And now I'm here in the write us section. This is, well, this template is including a contact form to let people send me an email. Okay, so I can change the title as always. I can change the labels in the form. Well, by default, it has 4 different fields. So in case I don't want to get the email and I want to get some other information, I can just change the label here, and that's it. Okay. And in case you want to remove some fields or add new fields, you can always edit your app in Mobincube after the wizard is complete. Okay. And well, the last thing is the label for the send button, and also I have to enter here, since this is a formula, I have to enter here an email address where I want to receive all the emails that users send to me. Okay, so I'm going to use my own email address, ignacio@mobincube.com, and here in change URL. Okay, and finally, I'm done with the contact form. I'm going to click on next. And for this template, I only need to enter my address, okay, in order to locate my restaurant in the map. Okay, so maybe I can like 100 Market Street, and I guess San Francisco. I always use San Francisco. I really love this city. Well, it's the only city in the United States that I know the names of the streets. So. And I can change the button. Well, in case this is not only a restaurant, and it's like a chain of restaurants, I can add more locations here. So now I click on next, and that's it. I ended this wizard. I just click on generate. It takes like 20 seconds to process all the information. Now I will get both options, going to edition mode, in case I want to change things, or just going to preview and then go to publish. First, I'm going to go to preview so that I can start the preview generation. Since it takes like 2 or 3 minutes, let me start requesting. Okay, now it will take like 2 or 3 minutes. In the meantime, we're going to check the structure again. We are going to go to edition mode. And again, now we are going to be totally free to edit every piece of your app. Okay? So, well, you know that there are other app builders in the market. They also use nice templates. They are also easy to use. You can create an app in 10 minutes also. And they are really cool in that part. But the fact is that almost all of their apps look the same. Okay, but with Mobincube now you can go to edition mode and change anything, every button, every text, every color, every structure. You can add more screens, you can remove screens. Where you are really like flexible for building your app. Okay. So here's my structure. You see with my own pictures. This doesn't really look like an app for spa. Okay, it looks more like a restaurant app. So I have all the screens. So imagine, for example, that remember this section showing information about the restaurant. So in case you wait, okay, it's not loading. There's something wrong. I think there's something wrong with the pre-visualization here. Okay, maybe I go to info. Well, this is a live demo. You know, live demos always have some issues. See, we also, I think I told you before, we had some problems with the server last night. Okay, I think my internet connection is getting lower and lower thanks to Comcast. See if it was only like a temporary issue. Well, the demo is still being generated. Now it's done. Let me check first if everything was fixed. Yeah, it was something wrong with the memory maybe. Now I see this screen. For example, imagine the template had these margins on both sides. Imagine that I want to make like bigger margins. I can just get this table element and make it wider. Okay, it's quite easy. Or in case you want to add a second picture, or in case you want to edit anything in your app, you can do it here. Okay, so now I'm going to the preview. I'm going again to stop sharing my screen, start sharing my webcam. And I'm going to download again this app. Okay, give me like 1 minute or less. Let me scan the QR code. And a moment. Okay. I got the QR code. Just to see my phone. Download. Download it. Here. Next. Install. And here's the preview of my app using this second template. Okay, you see, now it's not spa anymore. I have this menu, I have this section, I have this mission, and I can go to the pictures, you see, and it takes automatically all the pictures in the database. Oh, no, not all the pictures, only. Maybe we have to fix something there. Or maybe in case you want to use this, then you will need to add reports in the gallery section. Okay, I was wrong. Sorry for that. You can always access the menu from this button here. Example, you're selected the menu. I can click here, and then I get my menu of Microsoft. Or the contact us, go to my Facebook. Inside the app. I mean, this is embedded. Okay. So, well, basically, this is everything I wanted to tell you in this webinar regarding our brand new feature called the Wizards. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you can now start creating apps for your customers or for yourselves in 5-10 minutes. Well, you have to add the time for preparing your pictures or your text. It's always really important to take some extra time to take nice pictures and things like that. But again, now you can really create apps in 5 minutes with Mobincube. Okay, so well, and there are more news in Mobincube. I mean, July is going to be our month. Okay, it's a really new, a month full of new features in Mobincube. I mean, you know that we've been like 3 or 4 months not really releasing new features in Mobincube, at least not really important releases, because we've been like investing a lot of times in doing some changes. First one was this Wizard system, and now I'd like to start telling you that I think the 21st of July we are going to make a really big release in Mobincube. I'm telling you this in premiere. Really good news. Next week we will start contact or giving more information. I mean, we are going to change a bit our business model, so we are going to make it more, I think, cheaper for you, and yeah, I mean, we are going to change our model, because now, in case you want to use premium services in Mobincube, you pay per every app that you create. Okay, so for example, if you want to hire the professional plan, it's like $249 per year per app. Okay, so if you have 2 apps, then now you pay like $500, right? So that's really expensive. So now we are going to change it, and we are going to use a system based on using Mobincube, and it's like a pay-per-use Mobincube and not pay-per-app. Okay, so you will pay a flat rate, and you will be able to create unlimited apps, and there will be like different pricing tiers. So depending on how much you pay, then you will have more disk space, or you will have more push notifications and deliveries available, or for example, you will be able to remove advertisement in your apps only for $9.99 per month, and not only in one app, but if you have like 5 apps and you pay $9.99 per month, you will be able to remove advertisement in all your 5 apps. So it's going to be much cheaper and much easier to pay, because you will be able to pay on a monthly basis, or well, even if you will be able to pay yearly, and you will get like even more discounts. But it's going to be great, because, for example, if now you're paying like $249 for a professional app, then you are going to pay only like $100 per year. It's like $9.99, and this will let you even like create 2, 3, 5 apps depending on the size of your app. Okay, so it's going to be really cool. So please read our newsletters during the next weeks, because we will provide some information. And well, And don't be scared if you already hired, for example, a pro plan or a home plan, because if you already have some active plans, we will do some conversions, and we always will try to benefit. Okay, so if you pay for a pro plan, and you will get like additional prepaid months in the future, so you don't really have to worry because you will get more benefit. So before we launch it, don't be scared to hire new services, because then we will do the conversions. Okay, so it's going to be even better if you hire some services before the 21st of July. Okay, so yeah, that's everything I wanted to tell you today. So I could say this webinar is over, and I mean, I'm not going to explain more things. And I just want to thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure to share our knowledge of Mobincube with you. It's always a pleasure to have you here. It's always a pleasure to have you as Mobincube users. So thank you for being here, and yeah, see you in our next webinar.